Hello, hi, welcome to the stream. My name is Amy Prokopis. If you're brand new, I'm an author of young adult novels like the science fiction novel, The Arena, and the fantasy romance, Guardians of the Sixth Gate. I just announced the date for book 2. Oh my gosh, guys. So if you missed it, book 2, which is Shade of the Shadowlands, that book will come out on May 30th. Woo! So super exciting things. Um, I am so glad that I've gotten that out there. Wow. So I did have to change the date. I did have an earlier date in May picked, but with my editor not able to work until a little bit later than I was hoping for, I wanted to make sure that I had time to work with my cover designer and just in case things weren't super, super smooth, that I had extra time. I like to have a pretty nice window in there anyway so that I feel better about devoting time to marketing things. So May 30th, it is. That's about 3 months away. Oh my gosh. When I put that out there and I did the countdown on Instagram and it said 3 months, I did kind of like get a little nervous because that's really not that far away. So that's what's new with me. It looks like everybody's here. I have my book out ready to keep with it. Thanks to you. Ooh, I'm so excited. Is it that the book you talked about last week? Your werewolf book? I think that's so much fun. We haven't seen werewolves in especially like young adult, but we haven't seen werewolves in a hot second. I love that. Jen's here from Jen's Bookshelf. May 30th, so exciting. Jen, I'm so excited for your book. Remind me, well, you haven't released your date, have you? I don't think you have yet. When is that coming, Jen? When are you releasing your date? Oh my gosh. I'm going to speed away. Holy moly. So tonight I'm working on outlining. If you haven't noticed, it was in the title of today's stream. I am working on outlining book 3. So I had already gotten a pretty good outline going. I historically I'm very much a pantser. So I typically what I do is I write half of an outline and then I'll start writing the book. So that was about what I did. And I was going to write book 3 in the Guardians of the Sixth Gate series. I was going to write that book in November for NaNoWriMo, but I had just come off of the publication for Guardians of the Sixth Gate, the first book, and had just finished writing book 2. And I decided, I think I need a change of pace, something to like creatively keep fresh. So I decided to write something that had been floating around in my brain for a while, just off the cuff. So I wrote Winter Witches instead. So I'm now getting back around to that outline. Over the weekend, my amazing husband, first off, he's the one who set up the lights in here. So the lighting is so much better in this room now because he bought me filming lights, which was super nice of him. So things look a whole lot better in here. That is for sure. I'm not backlit anymore. It's still not perfect because we're still kind of in the process of figuring out the best place to shoot. You've probably noticed I've been like all around the room. I would love eventually to just move out of this room for these streams, but he bought that and set that up for me, which is great. He also surprised me with an iPad, which is something I've talked about maybe wanting for a couple months. I think I could use it a lot at work. I'm a school counselor. I think I could use it a lot there, but also I would love to move my editing process entirely digital. So right now, after I finish writing a book, I print it out. I write in Word and then I print it out and put it in a notebook. And I do the first round of editing physical like that and make notes in the margins. Sometimes I end up printing another draft. I would love to go paperless for a lot of reasons. And I think I figured out how to do that. And this iPad is going to be a huge part of that. So on my YouTube channel here, I do have a whole video about what my editing looks like. And as I kind of try this process out, I'll probably film a new one about the paperless editing. So that should be coming soon. So that's what I'm working on. I'm outlining today on this bad boy. Super exciting. I use this app called My Story to outline. Here it is. There is a free version, which is what I use, but they also have a premium one that you can add a little bit more to. I just use the free version because I'm just outlining in it. I'm not actually writing a ton in it. I just put tidbits of scenes in there and I can organize them, which I really like. So it looks a lot like Scrivener. Not gonna lie. It looks very similar to that. So let's get back to some comments. Enough about me. Jen says, I don't know what I'm going to do during this stream. A second story is off to the editor. Ooh, that is so exciting. So I might work on book 2 or just keep reading, which I was doing before. I have a lot to do. I need to do this outlining, but I think I'm also at some point going to take a break and watch the TikTok video. So Wednesday, on my YouTube channel, I am posting the video that I filmed all of last month where I was trying to grow my TikTok. I am posting that video on Wednesday, and I haven't watched back through it to make sure everything makes sense and is good. So I might do that tonight as a break between all the outlining. But man, once you get the book out to the editor, there is a moment where I felt kind of like you feel really vulnerable because now it's in the hands of somebody that can tell you if it's good or not. And that is nerve-wracking. So that's a big step. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Yes, ma'am, I'm excited. So you are doing the werewolf book? That sounds so fun. I love werewolves. I have a couple projects on my shelf that I'll come back to, and there are werewolves in them, but they're not like a big part of it. So a book about like where the werewolf is one of the main characters or the main character, I haven't seen that in a very long time. So I think that'd be really interesting to write about. I haven't released it, but I'm planning for May 11th. Woo! So Jen is almost there to announce her book release. Haven't really thought about the book in the hands of the editor yet. I'm sure the insecurity feeling will settle in when I get it back in my hands, though. I think it depends on the mindset you have going in, because that shifted for me after I did the arena and sent that off to my editor. Now, and like with Guardians of the Sixth Gate, when I go to send off a book to the editor, I don't feel so insecure about it. I feel like I'm just at that point it feels more collaborative. I don't feel like any kind of criticism that I get that's bad. I don't ever feel like it's personal because it's not. It's not as scary anymore to me, but there is still like that little twinge in the beginning, like, oh, I hope this isn't all terrible. I'm sure your book's great. You've written and you've done a lot of work on this already, more than I think I did, like I typically do before I send it to my editor. So I cannot wait to read your book, Jen. Even Twilight, it's vampires first, not werewolves. You're right. Gosh, it would be so cool to write. Ooh, you could like write about a whole pack of werewolves even, because even in like the lore that we know about werewolves, like the traditional stuff, they're usually in packs. So you could write about a whole pack. That is so cool. Okay. So I am working on my outline. I think now is a good time to maybe jump into our first sprint. Don't forget to like the video if you haven't already. Yeah, let's go and do that. So hopefully I can get a lot done. In this first sprint, my goal is to at least get my notes from my phone in, because I do make notes on my phone sometimes when I just need to get something down real quick. I'll make the note there. So I am hoping to at least move those notes into the outline. I can kind of put them as like a placeholder somewhere where I feel like they fit. So that is my goal for sprint number 1. So let me queue up. Here we go. Oh, I don't need that one. Let me queue up our timer here. Here we go. I want to be this way. There we go. So we're going to do 20 minutes for sprint number 1. We'll do 3 sprints tonight, a little bit of talking in between, and pretty much it. I will see you guys in 20 minutes. Good luck. Okay, so my computer started to overheat. It was sounding, holy moly, like it was going to explode just now. So I was a little worried about it. So Jessica made it into the stream. She said she's sick with COVID though. So she's taking it easy. She says gonna play with Sims for the night and hang out with you guys. So I'm so sorry that you're not feeling well, Jessica. This just makes things not so fun when you're not feeling great and you're sick but you still have some things to do. So definitely rest up, mind and body. When I'm sick, I tell myself I'm resting by lounging around on the couch, but usually I'm lounging around and doing like either social media research or editing or things like this where I'm outlining that kind of work. So rest your mind also. I know it's hard to turn it off sometimes, but definitely rest up. So, how did everybody's first sprint go? I was able to get my notes in. So, I'm going to take a short break and I'm going to move to the video. I'm going to make sure that everything there looks right in sprint 2. So gonna do that. I can already tell from my outline that book 3 is going to be quite long. So I can already tell it's going to be longer because I have thought a lot about the different scenes I'm going to put in. So it's going to be a longer book for sure. Glad you're here, Jessica. Either way, just starting to get over a cold myself and had its claws in me since Monday. Hopefully you get better fast. It seems like everybody's starting to get that. I think with winter is still raging on for sure. And at least here where I am in the Midwest, our weather has been like off and on. Like today was beautiful. Today it was 60 degrees. And part of last week it was below 0. So the back and forth we get in the Midwest plus being in the plains, so everything blowing through, we get allergies and stuff through all the time. So everybody here is also getting sick. Jen said, I stared at my story for a bit and started to write stuff down, do a bit of planning as to what book 2 needs. I was drafting this for Nano and it was a mess, so it needs help. See, I tried to draft book 3 for Nano and it was definitely a mess. I could see it was a mess before I even got a chapter in, so I dropped it. I did not even worry about it. So I'm glad I'm not the only one for sure. Kiana said, I had to reread my book to remember what was going on. Yes. If I take too much time off for my draft, I feel it like the same way. I feel like I have to review it all. I have learned in this past year, because it's the first year for me being an author and like treating it like a business and not just wanting to publish a book. It's the first time I've published a book. And this is the first year where I have everything set and I'm working on the business side of being an author. So I have learned that for me, when it comes to drafting, I do much better to try and do that to make it a challenge. So I've learned that with the last 2 books I wrote, trying to write it or like spending a month focusing on trying to finish the book, that works really well for me. So I tried to write Winter Witches in the month of December. I did. And I feel like the draft overall is a lot better than some of my past drafts just because I was able to sit down and do it all at once. And I didn't have to worry about like those details, like forgetting something as I wrote them. Both of my little girls are just getting over a cold. Oh my gosh, it's so hard when your kids are sick. I have a 2-year, well, he'll be 3 this month. I have a 3-year-old, almost 3-year-old, and thankfully he has not been super sick this like at all this year. It's just been us. So hopefully, knock on wood, hopefully that trend continues because it is exhausting caring for a sick kid. It is, and it's not fun when they're sick. It makes you sad. I ended up rewriting some things. Yep, been there. Sometimes if you wait too long when you go back to review that draft, sometimes things just aren't working right, and it's better just to scrap a scene and redo it. So definitely been there. Um, my first book, The Arena, I started writing the sequel to that. I still have a sequel planned. And I think the timing with it, I was just not in a good place. That book is kind of political in the sense that it has to do a lot with overthrowing the government, governmental systems that are abusive and unfair to people sometimes. And it was too close to home at the time that I was writing it. So I got halfway into that book, decided this isn't working, and I don't like some of the things I've written into this now, so I scrapped it. So I'm gonna go back to that draft eventually, and I think I'm just gonna do a rewrite. It's not working. I do like some things about it, and there are still some scenes in there that I like, but I'm just gonna rewrite it. See how that goes. My 5-year-old is in preschool. Oh my gosh. Oh, I cannot even imagine. And my 2-year-old gets it bad. Ooh, yep. Man, when you have kids in school, they bring everything home. And I think to a degree, that's why I don't get sick so often, is because I work in a public school. And so I'm around it all the time also. So I think I'm just my body's kind of used to the grossness that gets passed around in school. So at my house, we don't get the typical sickness the same way a lot of people do. You hear that they people send their kids off and then they bring back sickness and it goes rampant through the household. My husband and I have both work in public schools, and so I think that we're both fairly adjusted to it, that when people at or even when one of us gets sick, it doesn't like ruin the household the same way. I'm an infant teacher. Oh, yes. So you'd think I would be used to it by now, but I still catch everything. I used to work in a daycare and I worked with the infants. And so I did get really sick. My first year working there, I caught all of the really gross stuff too, the not fun things. We had a really bad outbreak of RSV, and I didn't have RSV, but I had something very similar to it that first year. Ooh, it knocked me out. It was terrible. So you're kind of in the same boat. You see a lot of those same things working with kids in those kinds of systems. Oh my gosh. Whew. All right. So, oh, man, I'm feeling a lot better now that I've just sat down and tackled it. Doing these writing sprints is super fun. And it definitely is an easier way. It doesn't feel so daunting to tackle the whole of it because I have all the story for book 3 in my brain, and then staring at these empty plot points here on in my outline is a little bit scary looking. But when I just tackle it like this in short bursts and chunks, I don't feel quite so bad. So so I'm feeling a lot better. I think maybe now's a good time to get ready and move into our second sprint. Kiana said, I'm never sick. My husband, however, always is, and I live in a lead and oh no, valley, and my immune system is great. Ooh, maybe it is something to do with your upbringing then. Sometimes people who have grown up being sick more often than others, sometimes they fare better as adults. So maybe there's something to that. Okay, second sprint, 20 minutes. I still need to work on this outline. I think though, because I have the whole first, it's not the first third, but I have almost the first third drafted out. I think I'm going to take a break from the outline and watch my video real quick and maybe get that scheduled to go out on Wednesday and then come back to that. So I think that's what I'm going to do for this sprint. Don't know about you guys. Jen says, woo. So let's go ahead and we will queue up our second sprint, and I will see you guys in another 20 minutes. Best of luck. Sprint. Wow, I don't know what happened there. Holy moly. I'm so sorry, guys. Oops. I don't know what happened. I didn't click out, I swear. Oh my gosh. We have some newbies. So we have Christina from Pomona, California. Hello, welcome to the stream. I'm so sorry that your first stream is one where we lost me. I have no idea what happened there. But welcome back. We were in the middle of our second sprint. We were coming to the end of our second sprint also. Holy moly. Can everyone hear me okay now? I hope so. Am I back? Are we all in good standing? Yay! Okay, thank you, Jen. I don't know what happened. Oh my gosh. That was no good. So, how did everyone's kind of second sprint go? Mine was kind of eventful. Maybe there's something with my Wi-Fi because as I was watching my video, it cut in and out. So maybe there was something with my Wi-Fi. I don't know. It seems to be okay now. I almost turned Siri on the iPad. So sorry, guys. That was really confusing. Hopefully we'll gain some of you back since I accidentally kicked everybody off. Holy moly. I wonder what that's going to look like on the stream. So anyway, so what I did, I was working on my TikTok video. So I recorded the entire process of me trying to grow my TikTok following. I recorded the whole thing in the month of January. So I really, really focused in. I was posting like 5 times a day. That was pretty normal for me in the month of January. It was a lot. I'm back to 3 times a day, which is still quite a lot, but that is a whole lot more doable than the 5 times a day. Lot happier with that. So, don't feel quite so busy now. I'm not so mentally exhausted like I was before, but the process was super enlightening. I learned a lot from it. And like I said, I filmed the whole thing. So I am finishing getting that video ready to go so that it will be out on Wednesday for you guys. So it'll be a long one. It's like 30 minutes. Sorry. Tried to cut some of it back, but it's still a 30-minute video. But I'm really excited to share it all with you because I learned a lot from it. And I did have quite a bit of growth on my TikTok, and that bled over to my other social media accounts. So my Instagram also grew just because I was posting reels and stuff that was going on TikTok. I was reposting that. So pretty cool. Pretty pleased with that. Jen says, I've been chatting to my friend about event planning because book 2 has a lot of that and I know nothing about it. She's helped me so much. That's great. I'm glad you're feeling less mentally exhausted. I'm excited to see that experiment. Thank you. It was really fun to record. So I'm excited to get it out there. Event planning. Oh my gosh. So speaking of events, I just signed up for an author event last year. In April, I did this event. It was my very first author event, and I released my very first book in March. So it was not even like a month after I published that book. So it was really, I was a little baby there. And it was a lot of fun. It's in my local town near me. So why not go to it? I was very successful at the event. So speaking of events, I just signed up to do that one again in April. And I'm going to vlog more of that experience. Last year, I had none of it on camera, just a couple pictures. But I think I'm going to try and vlog some of that. I think it'd be really fun to go live. Probably not on YouTube, but maybe probably on Instagram. That's probably where I'll go live because the clientele for that event is probably more on Facebook and Instagram than they are on any of the other social media platforms that I utilize. So maybe I'll do that. That would be kind of fun. That is so exciting. Yes, Jen, I'm so excited. I loved that event last year. It's not a great big one, but it is kind of a local thing. It benefits the local library and the my favorite indie bookstore here. So I always partner with her. And she processes my sales and she takes a cut of it. She doesn't take as large a cut as I think that she probably could, but she takes a cut of it and I get part of the sales and it's super, super fun. So I'm going to do that again this year. I don't have any events for February I didn't make it a goal for 2023, but it's something I would like to try every month. I would like to try to have some kind of event every month, whether that be a book signing or other small events. Like last month, I did an author visit at the school I work at, which doesn't sound like much of an event because I work there, but it was fun to talk to all of the kids about books and stuff and the process. And they had some really good questions. You don't always know, especially with high schoolers, how engaging they're going to be with you when you go into a classroom. So that was really fun. And I would like to do classroom visits more often. I really enjoy being in classrooms with the young adults. I think it's just a place where you could do a lot of good. I like it. So it would be kind of fun to do that again. So maybe I'll reach out and see if I could. Let's see, we are off. There's a day that we're off because we have parent teacher conferences. So our school is out, but there are other schools in our area that are not. Maybe I could go and, I don't know, speak in some other schools. That would be really fun. I do have some connections with the other schools in town. Maybe I could do that. I don't know. Put a bug in their ear. We'll see. So, sprint number 3. We're almost on to the final sprint of the night. It is 9:27. I try to be done as close to 10 o'clock my time as I can, just because if I go any further, it makes for a really rough Monday morning. And also, my husband hosts game night in the other half of our house while I'm doing the live streams over here. So it is a ton going on at our house on Sunday nights, but I try to time everything. We try to time everything similarly. That way, it just times better that way. Gosh, I've never even thought about doing classroom visits and stuff. That would be insane to chat with kids about writerly things. Woo! I think since I know Jen, you don't write young adults so much as at least you used to. You say it's not really your thing anymore. I know that I know you've read some young adult recently that you really liked though, but since I write pretty exclusively young adult and my target is that age group, it makes a lot of sense for me to be in classrooms. It's super fun. So I like doing classroom visits a lot. So plus I work in public education. So that side of the education thing and writing is super important to me. And so trying to making connections there with young kids is great to me. I think, and not everything has to be formal education. A lot of what I've learned in my writing had nothing to do with what I went to school with or learned in college. But I think empowering people to be educated, whatever that means for their field, is super important. College, trade school, whatever that is. And public schools are a really good place to send that message. So I like being in public schools. All right. So I think hopefully I won't lose you guys this time, but I think now would be a great time to move into our final sprint of the night. I don't know what happened with the stream. I'm really hoping I don't lose you guys this time around. Man, so hopefully not. But let's come over here, find my banner. Third sprint. Make sure that you are subscribed to my newsletter. Ooh, I just sent out the blurb for Shade of the Shadowlands in my newsletter, and I'm getting ready. I'm gearing up. I'm already planning the newsletter for March. So the newsletter is the only place where you guys get a sneak peek at everything to come a whole month ahead. I don't put that anywhere else. I don't even put it in Patreon, although, that's a thought. Maybe I should put it in Patreon. But if you subscribe to my newsletter, then you get like the list of all of my YouTube videos for the month and what I'm working on. And occasionally I send out freebies through there. So make sure you subscribe. Super cool things. I just revamped my website too. So everything is very like aesthetic. It looks so nice. So that's my newsletter, I guess. I just kind of went on a tangent. So let's go to sprint number 3. I am going to continue prepping to get my video, the TikTok challenge, scheduled for this Wednesday. And then as soon as that's scheduled up and ready, I'm going to go back to my outline. So that's my plan. So I will see you guys here in 20 minutes. Let's go. Sprint. All right. Holy moly. So, since I went offline and came back online, I had to reset the timer. So, I am so sorry, guys, that the timer wasn't there for a hot second. So, third sprint was pretty good for me. I got my video. The TikTok challenge is now scheduled to go live on Wednesday. So be on the lookout for that. That was a fun video. Um, it's a little wordy, lots of explanation, but I came out with I learned so much from that challenge. So really fun. Excited to share that. I did a little bit more outlining and I am ending the stream by creating my to-do list for the week. So trying to organize everything for this week. Pretty good though. Yes. So what else is there? Let's see. I think that's pretty much it. So I did a bunch of things just now. What about everybody else in the stream? Hopefully it was really productive for you guys. I find that these videos, especially being the one hosting the stream, it's definitely a point of accountability. So I'm able to get a lot done. This week, it was a lot of little things because I'm not actively drafting anything or writing. I'm just doing a lot of like the business administration side. So not super fun work, but it's stuff that has to be done. And the more thorough, like with the planning, the more thorough that I can be with it, the better off I am in the long run. So it may not seem really fun, but it pays off in the long run. So super glad that I was able to get it all done tonight. So we don't have to worry about doing it all the rest of the week when the last thing I want to do is the business stuff during the week. What I want to be is creative. I want to come home, switch my brain, and do something creative. So I'm glad that I've set myself up to do that kind of stuff. Jen says, wrapped notes from my friend and started in on draft again, wrote about 495 words. Wow. That's pretty great. I have lots to think about logistically for this story. It's going to be a ton of fun to dive back into, hopefully at least. Oh, I'm sure it will be. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Love the productivity. Yes. Yes. Definitely needed a little bit of that today. I was fairly productive during the day, but it wasn't writing stuff. So I'm glad I was able to sit down with all of you, do the writing side of things, get that stuff going and finished. And I am definitely ready for bed. I'm getting a little sleepy here. So I think this is where I may leave you guys for the week. I'm going to go ahead before I fully turn everything off for the night. I'm going to schedule next week's live stream because I am planning to do a live stream next week. That'll be fun. And maybe go live on Instagram on Wednesday since this month is Instagram month. I would like to go live on Instagram. I'm thinking Wednesday, it's midway through the week. And since I already do TikTok and YouTube on the weekends, I figure why not just spread it out a little more than try and do it all in one week. So maybe on Wednesday. So if you're not already, go follow me on Instagram. I'm Amy Prokopis over there. Go follow me there. Watch my progress throughout the week. I'm planning to post every single day. So I have something new coming. I have this whole week scheduled out. So go check it out. It should be a lot of fun. But for tonight, that is it. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.